Welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Uncle Joe will be coming very soon. We can only hope. Well, boys, we have another great show for you tonight, so let's get it started. First of all, happy Inauguration Day, boys. Always a special day in this country, and it was very special, the ceremony today.
You don't forget these. That's for sure. You know,
absolutely.
This one had a little different
feel. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. When they were walking by the broken glass at the Capitol, inside the Capitol, I'm like, yeah, this may be
you need a tetanus shot if you go in the Capitol these days.
Well, where I sit, this is like if you had a really crappy team, and today they signed the top free agent. They changed their uniforms. They built a new stadium. That's what it feels like.
That's a great point. Yeah.
To some people, it feels like.
Yeah. Oh, you better be careful, Timmy boy. All right.
Oh, I'm on Brookline TV. I forgot.
All of a sudden, we'll have that mute button for JP's first.
Oh, that's what they do. They mute us now. I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's exactly right. That's right. You're not on top anymore. Uncle Joe, good to see you. Oh, we can't hear
Joe has to
unmute. Joe.
Speaking of mute.
Yeah, Joe, we're going to pitch in and get you a speaker or some sort. But, Joe, try to adjust that. But we got to start the show, boys. We start with Tom Brady. If it's a championship game, Tom Brady is going to be in it. Pretty exciting to see Tom Brady play in a championship game, even though he's not in a Patriots.
No, this is as close to, me watching Bobby Orr play for the Blackhawks,
Yeah. Great one.
I don't know how else I can relate. I don't think I've ever rooted for a player from Boston that went somewhere else, but I am rooting the heck out of for Gronk and Brady. I love them both. They brought us a lot of good times here.
Timmy, you got to root for him, Russ, right?
Timmy, he's given us so much joy over the years. Timmy, how would you compare this to when? Well, it's different because Bork went to Colorado to win a championship that he couldn't win here. Right, that's a different scenario.
The same affection for Bork as we had for Orr. I think
no.
Orr, Bird, Brady.
Yeah. That's right.
Maybe Russell, but basketball was
before our time.
Boston back then.
Yeah, right.
No, can we hear you, Joe? Try to speak. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, put up.
Turn
up the volume and speak louder, but we can hear you a bit.
Okay, I'll speak louder. That must do the trick.
Yeah, look, the difference between Bork and Orr and Brady, Joe, is that Orr and Brady won us championships.
Yeah, obviously, they gave us more. Bork, and Bork came from another organization to begin with.
No, Bork was drafted by the Bruins.
First draft, the 7th pick in the draft. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
but Bork wasn't at the level of skill that Orr was. Bork was amongst the best defensemen in the league. Orr, arguably was the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
In my estimation.
Bork was a lot like Yastrzemski. He was very consistent for a long period of time.
Right.
Chara. I put Chara and Bork maybe in the same category,
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's do some predictions. The Buccaneers, Packers, who wins?
Packers and take the over. I think Brady will have a good game. As bad as he was last week, he'll be much better against the Packers defensive secondary.
Uncle Joe,
you think Brady played bad? I thought he played okay.
Timmy, he was so mean to Tom Brady in our text.
Yeah, but Breeze was so much worse.
Who's the one who
Cam Newton would have been better than both of those quarterbacks.
Who's the one who said Brady? Cam Newton would not have been better than either one of those quarterbacks, Joe. Who's the one?
Joe,
that's what it looked like. That's what he looked like.
Joe had low blood sugar on Sunday because I don't know what he was saying half the time.
Who's the one who texted that Brady and Brees should both retire?
What's that? Yeah, absolutely.
That was
Scotty.
After the season, they should retire.
Well, one of them already has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that was Rivers.
Brady should retire. Don't you think, Russ, Brady should retire after the season?
No, I mean, look, if he wins this Super Bowl and he gets number 7 and he beats Jordan in the modern era, I think he retires. Like, seriously, why wouldn't you go out on top? I mean, you've now just proven everything to everybody. There is literally no more argument about who the greatest winner of the modern sports era is.
Well, I don't know if you even have to argue now, but
He already has that.
yeah,
No, I mean, no, but Jordan has 6. I mean, Jordan is,
Oh, that's
he's
a
the only
tough
one in
argument
this.
then.
He's
basketball is a lot easier to run off. Multiple
I think a Super Bowl this year would be the cherry on top of the cake.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I don't think you come back for more. If he doesn't win, I think he's coming back for another year.
He couldn't top it. Winning the Super Bowl would be the ultimate exit for any
That's
athlete,
right.
you know.
Yep.
And if he doesn't win it, I could see him coming back.
Yeah, he'd like to do like Peyton did, go out.
Look, Scotty, he's a top 12 quarterback in the NFL still. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any question about that.
More than his arm, you know, and his legs and his physical being, it's his leadership, it's his demand, you know, that those linemen don't go off sides and the receivers run their pattern. He brought, you know, he basically took the identical team that went 7-9 last year to the NFC Championship game, and I think he had a lot to do with it.
I know, but he's not the same quarterback that he was even.
He's not, Scotty. No one's arguing that he's the same quarterback. My point is that he's still a top, I would say top 12 quarterback in the NFL. Name me 12 quarterbacks who are definitively better than Tom Brady right now, and you have a hard time.
But does he want to leave when he's the 22nd best quarterback, or does he?
No, but I think he wants to win one more Super Bowl. I think he wants to win one more.
He's still in the top half of the quarterbacks in the league.
All right, but look, if I agree, if he wins, he's got to bow out there.
Yes.
And then it gets.
But more like you said, Tim, for his leadership and his commitment to winning and his changing of the culture there in Tampa Bay and getting them all on the same page. And like you said, not committing stupid illegal procedure penalties and stuff.
I was talking to my sons last night about what Brady brings to the game. When those receivers line up, Brady's head is like a computer. You know, he knows. You know, if the cornerback is lined up in the receiver's face or 5 yards away or 10, there might be 70 different options before they leave the huddle on where those receivers are going to be. And Brady knows like within a yard in 2.5 seconds where those receivers are supposed to be, and he throws the ball. There's more to being a quarterback in this league than just chucking the ball.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Timmy, you got Packers or Buccaneers?
I got the Packers, unfortunately. I think their quarterback is at the peak of his skills right now. I just think they're a better team.
All right, Russell.
Everything says that the Packers should win it, but I'm picking the Bucs because this last year has been so friggin' crazy. Like, it just, the narrative is Brady goes to the Super Bowl, and it feels like that narrative is going to happen.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucs won, Russ. I wouldn't be surprised, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good close game, and it's going to be better one or two plays. All right, go to the Boston Celtics. Maybe
we didn't get Joe's prediction.
Oh, I think
I liked the over, but I liked the Packers. But like Russell, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Buccaneers and the Bills in the Super Bowl, and I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, look, I got the Buccaneers because Aaron Rodgers seems to turn on his team in 2 seconds if things go bad. He starts giving them looks.
He lacks that special leadership that Brady has.
Yeah, there's something about he's a complete front runner.
He's the queen of the millennials.
He totally is. Oh my God, that guy takes himself way too seriously. All right, go to the Celtics. 8-4. This is for Russ. 8-4, and we have the best record in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to give it to you at 8-4, but. Look, we have Kemba coming back. He came back against the Knicks. If you watch that disaster of a game, Kemba coming back obviously helps the Celtics moving forward.
You would think so. You know, look, my in absolute terms, 8-4, whatever. To your point the other day, you made that point the other day. It's like not that big of a deal. But a few weeks ago, we sat here on the show and said we'd be happy with a 500 record after 20 games until Kemba gets back.
Yeah,
and they're at least a couple of games ahead of that pace. He came back earlier than we thought, and they're a couple of games ahead. So I think you got to give this team credit. That game against the Knicks was a stink bomb from beginning to end. I mean, you could smell it from here. Yeah. But that you give them credit, and hopefully they get Kemba reintegrated into this lineup so that they can go on another run.
Well, that's always going to happen. you can only sustain a certain level
Yeah.
when your best player is out. And then all of a sudden it starts to collapse because that's what they turn to. They turn to their best player when they're going to have a stinker. And sometimes
Exactly.
Tatum puts up 30, 40 points and changes.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
we're seeing improvement out of Brown and Tatum this year. I think that they have both taken it up a notch.
Yes.
You're right.
So
But
that's
pretty
what we're
agree.
hoping for, that these guys get better every year, you know.
In just a month removed from the last playoffs, Jaylen Brown looks like a different guy.
Look, it's not a crazy discussion, and people bring it up, the Celtics fans bring it up, who's better, Jaylen Brown or Tatum? Whereas before last year, we'd be like, you're crazy, Jason Tatum's the
Not
best.
crazy. No, I
not
think
anymore.
I think Tatum's still better and his ceiling is higher, but it's not a crazy argument. Not at all.
There are
But
times
you
when there are times when Brown clearly looks like the best player on this team. There are stretches of games where if I had to pick
Yep.
one of them, I'd take Brown.
But that's the
Tatum
thing.
is more skilled. Tatum is definitely more skilled. But Brown seems to have worked into more of an all-round game. But he's working hard.
I would say that Brown has maybe more room for improvement than Tatum does.
I think Brown takes it to the hole better. He takes it to the hole better. I think Tatum's a better shooter, though.
You could be right. You know what's a beautiful thing, though? It doesn't matter who's better, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the thing about these guys is if you were to say, if you were going to pick two positions, just remove the names, you'd say, I want an unbelievable athletic, you know, 3, and I want an unbelievably skilled 4 in today's NBA. And that's who you have, right? Yeah. And they're both 23, 24 years old. They're signed for the future, and they really like playing with each other.
Ainge hit a home run with both of them for sure.
Oh, my God.
And we both got them in one trade.
Unbelievable.
One trade. It's pretty remarkable. All right, so we played the Sixers tonight. That's a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
Tatum will not be back. Apparently, he may be back on Friday.
Yeah.
Look, the fact is that if you could beat a Sixers team without your star, that'd be a hell of a win.
Is Embiid playing tonight?
I think he is, right?
Yeah, he's playing. So the Sixers have a full roster, and we lack Tatum. Time Lord will be back. So, look, these are sort of litmus test games. I think Friday nights, you know, full team versus full team will be a good litmus test game for this team.
You think they'll have the Time Lord out there trying to defend the big guy?
Embiid, they'll throw everything they can at Embiid. You got to look at that. Defending Embiid is about 18 fouls.
Yeah.
Right?
You really can't.
Hopefully he needs oxygen in the third quarter.
There are
Right.
certain guys in the NBA that actually play by themselves. There's nobody really on the court. It doesn't matter. Kevin Durant's one of them. Embiid's another guy. You're not stopping him. You know,
No.
if Embiid wants to shoot an 18-footer, he's shooting an 18-footer. If he wants to drive to the basket,
That's right.
he's getting to wherever he wants to go to.
The only thing we can hope is that he runs out of gas.
He's been terrific this year. He's in better shape. And he's making a push for MVP. He's in a top 5 MVP category right now.
Reminds me of I was watching a World War II. He reminds me of a Tiger tank. It was the best tank, strongest tank, but it used to, you know, get about a mile a gallon. It used to run out of gas. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the whole Muhammad Ali, George Foreman thing, the whole rope-a-dope thing, you know, because Ali knew that he couldn't fight George Foreman straight up.
How do you guys feel about? I love Embiid. I think he's fantastic. I would love Embiid to be on my team. I think he's fantastic. He's a fun guy. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
A lot of talent.
What a talent!
He's a monster. I mean,
terrific guy.
Anyone that wears it, I just go back to those '80s Celtics Philly battles, which were epic, and I just love to be Philly though. So I don't like anybody in the 76ers uniform.
Embiid will take it to another level, guys. And right here, I'm marking it right here tonight. When he gets into his first real fight, the first time he attacks some guy in a real fist fight and stuff and beats the living crap out of someone, that's it. No, it's going to be a lane to the basket whenever you'd like to. He still doesn't have that cachet. Do you know what I mean? Like the Moses Malone cachet if we're going to use the Sixers.
Will Chamberlain,
Right.
There's no fear yet. The moment you start fearing him, good luck to you. One guy that nobody fears, but I'm going to say could play a role other than out of bounds plays, Taco Fall. Looks like you could
That's
steal
good.
some minutes, Uncle Joe, with Taco Fall moving forward.
And he could block Embiid.
Yeah, right.
He can stuff him. And he's got a nice knack for getting up there and getting the ball before it hits the back.
You know, the other night everyone was raving about the 3-pointer, and then he took it to the hole. There was actually a play about a minute earlier where he ended up on a guard on the perimeter, and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. He ended up on a pick and roll. He moved his feet, stuck with the guy, all the way onto the other side of the basket and blocked the shot. And I was like,
that was a nice
play. Crazy. He is 7'6", and he moved his feet with this guard. I'm like, that was the first time I thought, oh, we may have something like legitimate here, like 10 minutes a game. Yeah.
And he's getting better and better. He's getting a sense of his own body. I'm telling you guys, he may be trending like the Time Lord was early last year. Yeah. By the playoffs, he may be a guy that contributes 10 to 15
I'd love to see him get 6 or 8 minutes out there.
Yeah.
And just as an experiment on Embiid and see how it goes.
Just see how it goes.
Look, I think Taco with Thompson out there might be a nice, fun lineup when you want to go big.
Yeah, you could really go big.
We might not score any points, but
yeah, that's a little bit of the problem.
No, look, Tatum, Brown, Jalen, and Thompson and Taco would be a fun 5 out there.
Would be fun, yeah. It would be fun. I hope he does it sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? All right, we can't go a week without talking about Peyton Pritchard. The guy doesn't disappoint any game. Never does. Always seems.
Well, Joe got on him the other night. Joe was not too happy with Pritchard. Joe at the end of the first quarter was like, he was awful, and then Pritchard hit like this next 4 shots, and Joe's like, oh.
He was 0 for 5, and he threw it, man, about 4 turnovers.
Jesus, Joe. What the dog shit in the living room or
Honest
something?
to God, I don't know what bee bit Joe the other day before the game, but he was ready to roll.
Oh, but I turned around in the second quarter when he turned around.
He turned around.
Fair-weathered friend. He's a fair-weathered friend.
Look, Peyton
I expect a lot of Pritchard. He's one of my favorites.
Peyton Pritchard has
exceeded people you don't like that, Joe.
He has exceeded expectations for the whole season.
Oh, already.
You know, he has a poise about him that but he is, he's a 4-year college kid, and we're not used to seeing that rookies anymore who are on the floor. So, he is like Bird came in at about the same age as him. I mean,
it's amazing how Timmy. I think of him as like every once in a while you'll get an NHL game when your team has just gone off the tracks and they're scurrying around, and then some defenseman comes on the ice and just settles everybody down, takes the puck, picks the puck up in his own end, carries it out of the end, and you're like, okay, everything's now like back on track. That's how I feel about Pritchard when he comes in the game. He's come into the games when there have been like 4 veterans on the court with him, running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and he gets the ball, and I'm like, everything's going to be fine now.
It seems like the game is slow to him. Like he's poised, he sees, he's not in a rush.
He's very fast. He's a speed guy,
But he doesn't get himself into situations he can't get himself out of, though.
That's right.
And that's 12 games.
Well, it helps that he's 205 pounds. I mean, trust me, that helps. You see some of these kids coming out of college after 1 year, and they weigh about $170, and they can't get themselves out of trouble because they can't out physical anybody.
Well, he makes coming off the bench fun now. What we would dread when somebody would come in. Remember, it was 5 guys and Brad Wanamaker in the playoffs last year.
Well, what's going to be really, really interesting to watch from Brad this week, especially when Tatum comes back, is what do the rotations look like? How does he get Pritchard his 20 minutes, 25 minutes? Does he take him from Teague?
I'm going to throw something out there. If you had to take today, would you take Gordon or Hayward or Pritchard?
I'm taking.
I mean, Hayward's been good, guys. He's averaging like 25 points a game. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But
the Hayward that we had, though. The Hayward.
If you have a guy who's in and out of the lineup and you factor the money in, you take Pritchard.
Yeah, he didn't fit in here.
No, throw the money away, Russell.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's. I think it's still tough to tell. Let me see the full team on the court. A guy like Hayward even against tough defense can score. It's still a little early to put Pritchard into that category.
All right, none of these. You can't say one good thing about Gordon Hayward as far as playing for the Celtics. You're still talking about the Utah years. Total complete bust. Just quit it. Peyton Pritchard has already contributed to victories more than Gordon Hayward ever did.
That's actually not true, but I see where you're going.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's
And let's
not true.
give Gordon Hayward.
Well, he's trending that way, Russ.
We
He's
played
trending
10
that way.
games. We played 12 games. 12 games.
Yeah. Carpal tunnel syndrome will be.
Boston Red Sox, who are they? It's like the
have-
revolution now. You might as well be talking about the New England freaking revolution at this point.
Silence is deafening.
Sam Kennedy. We love Sam Kennedy. He's been on the show. He let us be on the field and do his show. He's from Brookline. So we're not going to rip on Sam Kennedy because we love him. But apparently, Sam was very honest. And he said basically, yeah, we're not going for it this year. We're rebuilding. And you can't say the word rebuilding in Boston sports. That's never good. That's not good. That's like saying
Not when you're charging the top prices in the league.
Nope. And there's no reason.
$12 for a beer.
And Timmy, and there's no salary cap. That is a no salary cap league.
No.
There's no cap.
And when you
They
have
can
a guy
spend as
like
much money
Chris
as you
Sale,
want.
when you guys have like Chris Sales, Xander Bogaerts, Devers, you got really some superstar players. Why would you be in a rebuild mode when you have players like that?
Well, the pitching. That's why.
You don't have Chris Sale until maybe the middle of the year.
But so many players, Joe, are available right now. So many quality players.
Right.
And you're skipping over all of them, and you sign Martin Perez.
Yeah. My biggest issue is I don't get any sense there's a plan whatsoever. Like, what's the plan? Like, give me a plan. Just say, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, lay it out for us. We're going to sign these kinds of guys. We're looking to build this, that, or the other thing. Just tell me what's ahead of us, and I'll determine whether I want to be with the program. But it's just like no one says anything about anything.
I'd rather see them trading one of our stars for like 3 top prospects.
Right.
I'd rather see that than this
Do something.
silence and nothing.
Right.
Well,
Well,
that's
they're
what
just
Hyman
waiting for the dust to settle, and then they're going to pick over the garbage and grab a couple of bullpen arms out of the garbage.
In
Well,
40
came-
40 years, have we heard the word rebuilt out of anyone?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said this.
I know, but have we ever heard that before? You're not allowed to say that if you're the Red Sox GM. You know,
Now, Theo wouldn't say the word bridge here.
They must have said, maybe they said that 30 years ago, but not in the last 20 years when we've had this success of all the 4 teams. Nobody talks the word rebuild. And then all of a sudden, they give us the impression that they're going to trade Andrew Benintendi, making us all happy, never to see him in a Red Sox uniform again. And now they're backtracking.
the thing I wonder,
3 years ago.
I wonder if John Henry lost a bunch of money in a commodities deal or something, and now he's telling him to tighten the belt or something. I don't get it. It's like they're going cheap all of a sudden. I don't understand.
Well, there's no money coming in. There's no sales, and nothing's not going to do any ratings. So
I think it's become a line item for John Henry. I think.
Well, that was in that Globe article today. I think Shaughnessy mentioned, asked Sam Kennedy, who got all riled up. It said, but are you distracted? The Red Sox just one of multiple assets in the Fenway Sports Group's portfolio with Liverpool and everything else. And Kennedy got his Irish up, but it's a legitimate question to ask, right?
Yeah.
That's how they appear, like they're operating, like they don't want to lose money.
Right.
You see teams like the Blue Jays sign Springer,
Yeah.
which I thought was a pretty good deal. I mean, 6 years, $25 million. That's exactly what he's worth. They'd overpaid for it. Red Sox camp, I would have been very happy with that deal.
See, the worst place you can be, as we all know in sports, is caught in between, right? You don't want to get caught in between. Either you should be going young and rebuilding and bringing in as many young assets as you can, or you should be going for it. This weird mix of super high paid stars and a bunch of just no names. With the only guy sort of in the middle is Verdugo is the most exciting guy on that team right now.
Yeah, there was a poll that said that they thought he was the 4th best outfielder in baseball.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think.
I mean, I can't. I'm looking
very
forward
high.
to watching him.
Where
Right.
was that
But
held in L.A.?
What's that?
Was that poll held in
No,
LA?
it's a national poll of writers or something. A lot of people are very high on this guy.
I enjoyed watching that guy last year. Play with
He's got a
energy.
little
He was
pop,
good.
You can see he might hit 30, 35 home runs
Yeah.
in a few
Yeah.
years.
Reminds me of Bryce Harper. He just reminds
Interesting.
the way obviously his swing and the way he carries himself. Look, there's a huge upside, and apparently Jeter Downs is the #1 prospect in the Red Sox system. So maybe that wasn't so bad after all.
But my point is, then make more of those deals. If that's where you're going, make more of those deals. Don't give me like retreads like Martin Perez.
Yeah. How do you not sign John Lester? I don't know what Lester signed for, but it's probably a similar amount. Why would you sign Lester instead of Martin?
The funny thing is, guys, if the Red Sox signed John Lester tomorrow, Scotty would come on next week and it would be all sunshine in Boston, Massachusetts.
No question. Absolutely.
Well, out the Nationals, your second favorite team?
No, they're one of my best clients. I'll give you that. Yeah, but look, no, John Lester had the Red Sox signed him. I would have said it was a successful offseason. I want John Lester back, and I make no bones about it.
The Cubs didn't get rid of him for no reason. They didn't even offer him anything.
No, but yeah, they have to pay him like $10 million on an option, though. So Johnny Boy's making some good money, and I assume. But Martin Perez is a joke. That's an insult to Red Sox fans that you brought him back. That was your big signing.
We bailed out right in time, boys, didn't we?
We have given.
Yes, we did.
We've given $10 million in total. $10 million in total to Matt Barnes and Martin Perez.
Oof.
This is exactly the Red Sox teams of the 90s when they all sucked.
Yeah.
These are the kind of contracts they used to give out to these stiffs.
Yeah. We had a nice run. Nice run, Timmy.
Yeah, we should.
It's still nobody has sat in our seats, if you think about that.
That's true.
Since we gave them up a year and a half ago, nobody has still set their ass in our seats.
It's sacred territory.
And our seats, even if there's Section 8, those things may be empty for the next 5 years. I don't think any crowd's going to get to Section 8, boys.
We'll go sit them next year for $5.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Crowds are going to stop at like Section 14. That's what it's going to look like. All right, we're going to go to Timmy's Boston Bruins. 1-1 right now. But Timmy, we've scored 4 goals in 3 games. I know a little bit about hockey. I don't think that's good.
No, they're off to a slow start. I mean, they've played some pretty good teams too. I tell you, New Jersey, they're no joke. You know, I didn't catch the last game.
Well, they didn't score a goal. They lost.
Jersey has some talent. They were very evenly matched teams. You know, Bruins didn't look bad.
They had lots of scoring chances. They just can't finish.
It's
Oh my God, I've never heard that before, Joe. And
I just watched my son.
They're all like Kasha.
I just watched my son Collins game. They got thoroughly outplayed, outshot about 4-1, and they tied Braintree. So hockey's a crazy sport. You know, you can play great, and the puck just doesn't find the back of the net. I mean,
Puck luck.
It evens out at the end of the season.
It's all puck luck.
It's a lot of the goalie. I mean, a quarterback in football and a goalie in hockey. I mean, that's the 2 most important guys there are.
So, Tim, are you thumbs up or thumbs down on Tuca after a couple of games?
Thumbs up. I thought he looked good. He made some nice saves.
Wow.
I tell you, he got my trust in that playoff series. You know, I mean, he when he starts stinking, you'll hear it. I'll tell you right now.
But it looks like we're not skipping a beat without Chara.
No, they get some young kids that are going to come up.
Yeah, they need Pasternak back. They just need Pasternak back.
Yeah, he gets half 50% of their goals. But I'll tell you, Miller, what a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, isn't that great? It's a great story. I mean, that guy's
good. He's a beast out there. Unfortunately, his hands are going to be killing him because he's the only guy in this team that can throw the gloves down.
Yeah. Well, Frederick will light some guys up, too.
Frederick seems like he might. I don't know if he'll win. He'll fight. I don't know if he'll win.
Yeah.
But Miller can do some damage. And not only that, he's not just being tough out there. He's moving the puck. He's playing great. I'll tell you one thing I noticed. We missed Krug's slap shot on the power play.
Yeah.
No one can shoot the puck. None of those defensemen can shoot the puck like Krug.
Yeah, Grissom just can't do it like Krug.
He doesn't have that, but he had a bomb.
All right, boys, before we go, last subject. I like Jameson Winston for the quarterback.
Oh, you do? Interesting.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that might be
So,
G-
but not more than Jimmy G.
No, of course not. That's ridiculous. So, no, I mean, if Jimmy G can't come here for some reason, whatever.
But don't you think that Jimmy G in some ways is probably more likely than Jameis? Because if I'm New Orleans, I'm not letting Jameis out of the building.
I assume they're paying
Right?
they're paying that Hill guy a lot of money, right?
Yeah, but Hill's not a starting quarterback.
True that Jimmy G and Gordon Hayward vacation together.
They've never been seen in the same place at the same time, Timmy.
Right, you see when Jimmy G is winning
Uncle Gordon and Auntie Jimmy.
All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. Want to thank everyone behind the scenes, of course, Corbin. Want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another fun edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.